Oh, Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Save time and money with this aluminum fence in a box from Fence Outlet.
Well, we gotta ship the commercial
You
first.
can install it yourself for only $23.65, and you get 0% financing.
Okay, what is a smell that you like that most people are grossed out by?
Man, that's a good one. When I stick my finger in my butt, yeah, and then I sniff it, that's probably it. What a great question. What a great question. By the way, this is Darren Knight Perry, okay?
Manure.
Okay.
Cow manure when the wind is blowing. If it's like stagnant and it's just sitting there, but when you have a little bit of that manure smell with the fresh air coming in, it's just like, okay, this is what a farm is supposed to smell like. But
yeah, that's exactly what I think of, a farm smells like.
of course, you take a big old pile of manure and turn it over, I'll throw up,
Hi, I'm Nina, and I'm here with
Bryce Mitchell.
And, anyways, you got, the Jake Paul and Mike Perry fight coming back up. Yeah, so, Jake Paul, Mike Perry, just another fake fight coming up.
One thing I recommend for all homesteaders, preppers, go ahead and invest in honey. Stop going to the store and buying $20 worth of honey at once. Go to a bee farmer and buy $5,000 worth of honey.
This is not for real. I mean, if Mike Perry was interested in, like, say, honey, he would be like, hey, Bryce Mitchell, I'll eat everything you got. I'll eat everything you got, Bryce Mitchell. I'll eat everything you got, Bryce Mitchell. I'll eat all the honey you got, Bryce Mitchell. I'll eat every drop of that honey.
Honey is money. And when these banks collapse and all this goes down, I'm telling you, your honey is your money. Did you know that honey lasts forever? I'm sure you knew that.
Yeah, I do.
It literally stores forever. Now, the bad thing is if a tornado comes or my house burns down, I lose all my honey.
Is this guy for real?
But still, that's pretty unlikely, and so I'll take my chance.
But what if you put the honey in a fireproof jar?
Exactly. You know that.
A fireproof jar. Jesus. And then it's Mike Perry was here, and he was watching this interview, he'd be saying, what's her name? Yeah, what's her name? Yeah, Dana Drummond. Hey, Dana Drummond, this is Mike Perry. What's your Perry? I'll eat everything you got, Dana Drummond. I'll eat everything you got, Dana Drummond. I'll eat everything you got, Dana Drummond. Dana Drummond. I'll eat everything you got, Dana Drummond. I'll eat everything you got, Dana Drummond.
It'd be pretty expensive, or you could put it somewhere that would be fireproof. It's not in your house, but then it's easier for somebody to steal. But who really goes and steals honey? You know what I mean?
Does this guy really have like brain cells? I mean, I know about like a brain brain, but I mean, is this guy for real? I mean, I know she's not. And everybody to thank Jon Jones for bringing this bitch in. If it wasn't for Jon Jones, we wouldn't be looking at this thing.
Like, what about underground low bunker? Just
That's the way to do it,
That's the way to
underground.
do it.
But
You
see,
gotta
the
dig a
thing
hole.
is I stay in Arkansas, and so the water level, like I'm in central Arkansas, not up
Yeah.
in the mountains in the northwest area. I'm in central. It's
Who cares? Who cares where you're from?
all pasture. It's all
And by the way, Arkansas sucks. You take that to the bank. Every day, all day long, Arkansas sucks.
lowlands, real swampy, and so when you dig down in the ground, it inevitably fills up with water where I'm at. So I put my honey up high.
But then that,
If my car was here today, I put my money in my honey up high. I put my honey up high. And I eat everything you got, Dana Drama. My parents say, I eat everything you got, Dana Drama.
that's good for like what's it called? Like
Yeah, it's good for me. I eat everything you got, Dana Drama. Just like I told Jake Paul. I eat everything you got, Jake Paul. Jake Paul, I eat everything you got. I mean, I am the blind boxer. I mean, I took every punch. Now when I'm doing bad knuckle, when I'm doing bad knuckle, I won't let them hit me. You know why? Because I'm like that. But when I'm boxing a fake boxing match, I'm like, hey, Jake Paul, I eat everything you got. You see, the reason why it probably looked more like a real boxing match because Mike Perry could take a punch on this off. I'll punch you a whole bunch. Mike Perry said, I'll never go down. And the ref stopped it, you know? So,
irrigation, like water irrigation and
it's-
stuff like that.
well,
That's why you make so many watermelons, dude.
That's why.
he says Arkansas, that's the best farmland because you get down a little bit and then there's water. It's the same thing in Florida, you big knucklehead. So how's Arkansas better? Big knucklehead, you better stick to the cage, man.
Why we have the perfect soil, the perfect area for cow pastures is because of we get a lot of water, we get a lot of sunlight, we have hot summers, but the ground still holds a little bit of that water. I'm telling you, Arkansas is.
I think your hand holds some water, Bryce Mitchell. If Mike Perry was here, he'd be going, I'll eat everything you got, Dana Drama. Dana Drama, I'll eat everything you got. Dana Uni-Brow. Drama, I'll eat everything you got. Dana Drama, I'll eat everything you got.
It's absolutely perfect for agriculture.
You know what else we did for agriculture? When I was doing fake boxing with Jake Paul. Because my name's Mike, fake boxer, Perry, and anybody. I mean, I do real boxing at BKFC, but you know, and in my daily boxing, it's real, you know, but me and Jake Paul was just playing around stealing everybody's money. We just stole everybody's money. We told them it was real. So we bought tickets, airplanes, tickets. We bought hotel tickets. Went out to dinner, took off of work, all kinds of stuff. And spent a lot of money thinking it was a real fight with me and Jake Paul. Pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. But that's why they call me blind boxer, not blind, because I mean, when I'm doing bad knuckle and when I'm doing dirty boxing, that's real. I just let Jake Paul punch me, make it look good. Yeah.
It's the best place on earth as far as I know.
I mean, everything else.
blacksmithing this son. That's all. It's the best place on earth as far as he's concerned. Who cares what you are concerned about? But
still,
still,
that's pretty unlikely, and so I'll take my chance.
But what if you put the honey in a fireproof jar?
Exactly.
Do you sell the eggs and stuff like that?
I've sold eggs a little bit, you know. What I generally do is just get.
but mostly I give it the right plan. The right plan logically be like, hey, Ross Mitchell, give me some of those eggs, you know? It's all everything you got. Bryce Mitchell, all everything you got. Bryce Mitchell, all everything you got. Everything you got, Bryce Mitchell, everything you got, Bryce Mitchell.
Give them to other animals, like I'll give them to the dogs.
I'll give it to the dogs. They'll give it to me, but $1 a pound. Cause I'm a fake box. I box cheap ball. It's sad. I'm Mike Perry. And Mike Perry's a devil on my family. I wanted everybody to realize that my boxing life was fake. That I'd get out of class.
I've given away hundreds of dozens of eggs to people because I love people.
What did you say? I'll give away.
And when you do stuff like that, he run up.
So we kept the cameras rolling and my true love. Yeah, 12 with 5G.
Up to him to pet him.
Improvising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I gotta have a good beat and stuff. And so I mean, you can find a creek and boil the water and drink out of it. And there's a community. There's plenty. I mean, there's seriously so many cows compared to people in Arkansas that like you could literally just kill a cow, eat it, drink out of a creek, and you'd be fine. But in a place like Vegas, if the grid did shut down, yeah, a lot of people would. I mean, there's just no way to get around that.
You rap?
Do a little bit of rapping. Absolutely. I ain't even got a look. Hell or high water come, but I really ain't shook because I've been there, done that, and I read the book.
My name is Mike Boy Boxer Perry, and I'm a fake boxer. And anyways, my rap and stuff and everything, I can rap too. I mean, I can spit it out, and I'll eat everything you got, Bryce Mitchell. You wanna do nines, Bryce Mitchell? You wanna do nines within 9, Bryce Mitchell? You hear me right now?
Do you ever freestyle?
I have before, I gotta have it.
Well, come on, let's hear it. Do a freestyle right here with Boy Boxer Mike Perry.
Good beat and stuff. I gotta be in the mood.
It's gotta be the right.
It's gotta be the right
I won't
time.
ask you that. I won't ask you. Maybe I'll ask you again later. But one of my favorite moments on Embedded was when you used a sock to plug up your ice bath. I always commercials. They always like washing their arms, and I think that's the age to wash my shoulder first. Every time I get in the shower, the first thing I wash is this arm. That doesn't even make sense because in the Irish film commercials, they would always wash my arm. Wash my arm first. Okay, last question.
That was really exciting. That was really fun. Thank you.
I had a lot of fun.
Necessarily had that. I can't argue with the financial success of the company. I just think it's which way you're kind of looking at it, and which way you're evaluating, where it stands all the time.
Well, I want to put them both together, and Joey, I'll throw it to you because John says we didn't have that fight. I look at it like when I say Max Holloway and Justin Cage. And the moment of pointing to the center and the knockout, and I think Dana White said after that, I sell holy shit moments, and even if he doesn't sell holy shit moments, that was a holy shit moment. I wonder how you look at this. Do you feel like the UFC had a better than average, or maybe their best?
Yeah, I'm Mike Perry, and I eat everything you got, Jake Paul. Jake Paul, I eat everything. jackpot, jackpot, everything you got. I'll eat you uppercuts, I'll eat you overhands, I'll eat you, I'll eat everything you got, jackpot. For that paycheck.
Sure. Do you kind of agree with, the way John's looked at it?
I kind of tend to agree more with what John said.
Who cares what MMA Joey tends to agree with? This guy's an idiot.
Because we had some big events. Don't get me wrong. UFC 300, most stacked card of all time.
The most stacked card of all time. I don't think so. I mean, Sean Strickland wasn't on it.
But at the same time, the main event wasn't, if you remember kind of what Dana promised up until that point, for fans, for at least from a fan perspective, it didn't really, like the main event didn't have that huge it factor.
I was there, and I thought it was pretty darn good. And this idiot, he's just, whatever he thought is what his stand-up the fans said. He's just not that big idiot. The big idiot, all right.
Factor. And if you think back, and I think John was actually referencing, I think it is 2015, there was a January month where we had Anderson Silva, Nick Diaz. Earlier in that month, I think we had McGregor versus Seaver, and then earlier in that month, we had Jones versus Daniel Cormier. I think that was the first one. Yeah, it was the first one. The second one was in the summer. And I look at, Dana talking about the ticket sales and talking about the big numbers and stuff like that, and I'm like, how are those numbers really adjusted for inflation? And, that really doesn't have an attachment to.
This guy, MMA Joey, he's just,
the fan base person. So you have a lot of big events, but I look back at this year too, and I was thinking about this when you sent me the list of questions, and it's kind of similar to what John said. I'm looking back at the events, and I can't pick out outside of, and I thought you were going to say this, but you said Max Gaethje. Outside of Topuria versus Holloway, I don't know if this year we got that like mega fight feel that you would get in the past years. I'm not saying it wasn't a great year. I'm sure financially it's the biggest year they've ever had, but I just feel like we didn't get that one big staple event or two big staple events of the year. Even though I understand Note saying 300 were big, but you get my point talking about like the main event really.
Yeah, well, I want to run this past because so 2 against 1 here, right? So I'm going to throw this out there because here's what I think we're at peak MMA right now, right? I mean, I think there are more good fighters in MMA than there ever have been, and the competition is so good. So we don't have, like just go back to Ronda Rousey's era when she was winning fights in a minute. And why did Ronda Rousey become so big? Well, there was a number of factors in that. She was, she was the first dominant woman in MMA that, hit the mainstream. She had these great finishes. She was an attractive woman. She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and, and all these other things. But now I think the competition is better than it's ever been. I think by far, I think the Contender Series has really helped the UFC. I think the fact that guys are training in MMA from the beginning has helped. So now I think the UFC is sitting there with the best roster of fighters that they've ever had. And I think it trickles down similarly, right? So I don't think that we're going to see too often anymore superstars like a Conor McGregor, like a Chuck Liddell, like a Ronda Rousey. I think it's going to be more the Alex Pereiras and the Israel Adesanyas, where they're good guys and they win a lot of fights, but they occasionally get beat as well. John?
Well, and here's what I would say to you is you're 100% right about that. I mean, the level of the game is just better. It's higher quality competition all the way around. We're seeing that. I mean, from the regional level, developmental level on up, the game is just getting better. But I guess what I felt like was missing this year is like even take, for instance, like Alex Pereira, right? The year that he had, it was incredible. Now, what if he had 3 title fights, but it was all 3 against Israel Adesanya? Where it was that story, where it was those fights. Not that there weren't big fights, and I do want to make it clear, I think Joey was kind of echoing the same thing. It's not that it wasn't a good year. It's not like I'm sitting back going, man, the UFC really dropped the ball this year, didn't they? They don't even know what they're doing. It's a rudderless ship out there. No, they had a phenomenal year. But I just feel like in terms of saying was it the greatest ever, was it the best ever, I felt like I I just needed like one iconic storyline to really grab onto this year. Like I said, like a Pajeda Adesanya type rivalry, and I just didn't feel like we got that. You know, we had the emergence of Pantoja, but against a Kayas.
Shining fat ones and talk. Sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? Silent fat one foot cock.
The career that most people don't know, and against a Steve Erceg that kind of stepped in. It just wasn't necessarily the matchups that we had and the storylines along the way. So that's the only reason I want to say I don't think it was the best ever. Like I said, from a business perspective, unbelievable. The sport continues to grow. It's fantastic to see. I just feel like we were missing some of those big iconic type rivalries this year.
Oh, yeah.
Joey, before I go to review, I want to throw one other thing in because I think this is important to note. I think what the UFC tries to do, and probably the PFL/Bellator, but they don't accomplish it, is I think that when they put on their shows during the year, they want to have maybe 5 or 6 shows where they're like, people go, oh my God, right? Those were good. And then the other ones, it's all good TV content, right? It keeps people coming back, and they watch, ESPN gets very good trap.
Keep spinning, all around the world. But I like what they're trying to do with that. But it just does feel like they're kind of falling short in the promotion here. And it does
just the win in general, I counted them out in that fight. And then to go out and, to talk the talk and then go out there and knock out Max Holloway, I have to give it to Ilia Topuria because I believe
this guy goes on and on and on about Max Holloway. I think he wants to date Max Holloway. I'm telling you right now.
he's a rising star in the sport. I think Pereira is also a rising star. But I think like a lot of Pereira's
Pereira is a rising star. He is a star right now. He's been a star. What do you want, dude?
title defenses, like against Jamal Hill, it felt thrown together on short notice.
He just said small hill. Pereira up against small hill. Small hill ain't gonna beat nobody. Small Hill's past. He's in the past, Small Hill. Small Hill versus Pereira. You gotta be kidding me. Nobody wants to see Small Hill.
I know it was kind of like roughly 8 weeks, but it just kind of felt thrown together. Jamal Hill's coming back from the injury.
Do we have to see Small Hill come back from injury?
Then the Yuri Prohaska fight, another short notice fight, which I get. You can kind of look at that either way as bonus points, or you can kind of
short notice fights. I mean, it's like a bunch of babies, man. It's like you guys are from Britain or something. Always little crybabies and everything like that. Take a fight on short notice. And then when you lose, you're like, I took a fight on short notice. And then when you win, you go, I took the fight on short notice. I mean, which one is it?
And I'd be like, well, it was on short notice. And then the last fight's
I like you to be on short notice, MMA, Joey. You stink.
against Khalil Roundtree, who in my opinion shouldn't have been in a title fight.
Yeah, in his opinion. Who cares what the MMA Joey's opinion is? He's not but a big idiot. Stuff fell off of his shelf.
So it's like, do I take those 3 title fights, or do I look at Volkanovski, Holloway back to back, and also, kind of.
This guy MMA Joey thinks he's a matchmaker. I mean,
You're building your brand. I think you have to go Ilia Topuria as the fight of the year. Like,
it's so easy to call out all the big stars. What happened to Ronaldo Rodriguez? Ronaldo Rodriguez is like the biggest star coming up, and you guys don't recognize him, okay? Ronaldo Rodriguez is the biggest star coming up, and you guys don't even know it.
I go both ways, but I wrote a column and I said,
Kevin only goes both ways.
Topuria, this was in October.
Ilia Topuria is actually a friend of mine, and I think the guy, he said it 2025, he's going to be the highest paid athlete on the planet. That's a tough one there.
Had to be the guy, right? And I stick to that right now. And I agree for a lot of the reasons that Joey said. But I think that
Who cares what these guys agree with and what they think and everything like that? It's a bunch of idiots, man.
is, when you look at Max Holloway, right? And Max Holloway was
Yeah, when you look at Max Holloway, man, some people forget, man. Some people forget. See, Saturday night. We find out Saturday night.
coming off that win over Justin Gaethje, and
Justin Gaethje is old and crippled.
he kind of had reinvented himself after the losses to Volk, right? And look at who he beat, and the Korean Zombie, and all those great
The Korean Zombie hits thin, like hands.
fighters that he had beaten, and then caps
That's why they gave him to the Korean Zombie.
it off by moving up to lightweight and knocking out Justin Gaethje in the fashion that he
Justin Gaethje ain't nothing.
did, and making the world go crazy. And now Ilya comes in and goes,
The whole world went crazy. I mean, you should have seen the road. The road was crazy. I mean, it was like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna if he wants to slug with me, I'm gonna beat him in the first.
Kevin I'll slug with you. I'll slug with you, Kevin Ione. Any day, Kevin Ione. Solid fat 1 foot cock.
30 seconds, and if he wants to go to the ground, I'll submit him in 10
He's gonna submit me in 10. You wanna go to the ground, Kevin? With the solid fat 1 foot cock? Okay.
seconds. And then he basically does and goes out and did what he said. He called his shot.
I call my shot every time, Kevin Ione. Solid fat 1 foot cock.
I mean, and I know that Alex lost the fight to.
How do you know Alex lost the fight? I mean, who are you? Are you a judge?
To Islam. It's something that I think in the UFC happens, and a lot of people like it. And you've heard me interview fighters, and I've asked.
Unfortunately, I heard you interview fighters before, Kevin. Hey, Jon Jones, you want to fight Aspinall? I mean, everybody asks that question. You ask the same questions as everybody else asks. Why don't you ask some good questions? Like me, the crow and the pro. The crow and the pro. I ask great questions. You don't, Kevin Ione. Only John Morgan is the one that asks some great questions. This other idiot over here, the guy with the chin beard.
Alex, this question. I don't like these short notice fights. Yeah, when they win, it's.
Yeah, you think you would like the short notice fights, because, I mean, how much time you got left?
Great that he stepped up, but I want to see you at your best when you're competing, right? And
I am at my best, Kevin Ione. I'm sorry if that 1 foot cock.
I want to see you after you've prepared to fight Jon Jones, and you beat Jon Jones after you prepare.
I'll beat Jon Jones any day of the week. I'll beat Jon Jones any day of the week, Kevin Ione. Kevin Ione, I'll beat Jon Jones any day of the week.
Prepared to fight Jon Jones, then that.
I'm prepared to fight Jon Jones. Solid fat 1 foot cock. I'll fight Jon Jones any day of the week. That guy's 500 years old.
That is saying something.
Well, I know. Because I'm solid fat 1 foot cock.
And I just kind of felt like,
Tell us how you feel, Kevin Ione.
it was a mistake on not only Alex's part, but a lot of people's part
Now, explain to Miss Kevin Ione.
to kind of do that, to take those short notice fights. Hey, it stops.
This stuff about short notice fights. Don't take the fight, man. Don't take the fight. you win, and don't cry about it when you lose. Don't take the fight.
You know, it stops or saves fight cards, right, a lot of times, and if you win, you get a lot of benefit out of it, but I do think, you know, it kind of hurts and takes away, because it's hard to judge somebody. So
Oh, it's hard to judge somebody. What have you guys been doing for like an hour now? Just going around judging everybody. Please, don't judge people.
in any event, you know, I think when you look at Ilia Topuria, he beat.
Nobody cares what you think about Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is the greatest of all time. Maybe that's what he's going to say.
A guy that a lot of people thought was the best featherweight of all time. Then he turns around and he goes and he beats the BMF champion, and both of them in decisive manner.
I, Simon Fett, will be the next champion. World champion.
It's close, and what Alex did, MMA is a really hard sport, and to fight 3 times in 6 months at a high level is an unbelievable accomplishment.
How high of a level did he do? I mean, he fought kids. Alex Pereira is nothing. He's nothing. Alex Pereira is nothing.
But I just got to go to
Simon Fett, 1 foot cock. That's who I put my money on. Simon Fett, 1 foot cock.
I just got to give it to Ilia. Let me throw another question that I did not put on our little sheet. I have a little.
Listen to that. They can't even do a flow. They can't even do an interview with a flow. They come up with stuff. They got it all written down. Yeah. Idiots.
Little cheat sheet here.
Yeah.
And so I sent it to John and Joey so they kind of knew what I would be asking about. And I'm going to go off the charts one time here. So, John, you're a veteran. I'm going to let you answer this one first.
What war did John Morgan fight in? What war did John Morgan fight in? Please tell me what war did John Morgan fight in? They just said John Morgan's a veteran.
We had a call out the other day of.
Yep, they called out me, Simon Fett, 1 foot cock.
Jose Aldo. And Aldo kind of retired. He came out of retirement and fought Mario Bautista the last time. So I'm drawing a blank who it was even on Saturday that called him out.
I think it was Daniel Mark.
Maybe I always go to out calling people out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Anik, and this is brought to you by Toyo Tires. Fighting out of, where's the Arkansas, Nina-Marie, 68 years of age, weighing in at 245 pounds, fighting lightweight Ilia Topuria.
Put them both together. And Joey, I'll throw it to you because, John says we didn't have that fight. I look at, like, when I say Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje and the moment of pointing to the center and the knockout. And, I think Dana White said after that.
Who cares what Dana White said? Dana White ain't nothing. Dana White don't know anything about this MMA stuff. The only thing he knows about is boxing. Okay? You put too much emphasis on takedowns. Okay? Somebody's getting their head ripped off, they dive down. Oh, they get a takedown. They're getting beat up. You get a rewarded.
I sell holy shit moments, and even if he doesn't sell holy shit moments, that was a holy shit moment.
He is stating exactly what Dana said. I mean, come on, get your own words there, Kevin.
I wonder how you look at this. Do you?
I look at it like this. Simon Fett, Wesley Clark should be on this panel. You guys stink without me.
You feel like the UFC had a.
No, I didn't feel like they had. anything at all. I thought the PFLs like they overtake them.
Had a better than average or maybe their best year, or do you kind of agree with, you know, the way John's looked at it?
The 30-year year was not all that great. I mean, Sean O'Malley lost. I mean, how can you have a great year? Sean Strickland's not the current champion right now. DDP. Good for him, man. There should be 2 belts.
I kind of tend to agree more with what John said.
Nobody cares. MMA Joey, what you agree with and what you don't agree with. MMA Joey, you big turd.
Because we had some big events, don't get me wrong, UFC 300, most stacked card of all time. But at the same time, the main event wasn't, if you remember kind of what Dana promised up until that point, for fans, for at least from a fan perspective, it didn't really, like the main event didn't have that huge it factor. And if you think
the one it factor is all 3 stink.
think back, and I think John was actually referencing, I think it is 2015, there was a January month where we had Anderson Silva, Nick Diaz. Earlier in that month, I think we had McGregor versus C. Hoping, I'm praying to the MMA gods that it comes to fruition. First off, Dana saying, I 100% guarantee it happens.
Well, who cares? Who cares about Tom Aspinall? Tom Aspinall is from Great Britain, from London. Everybody over there, all you cares are nothing but a bunch of crybabies. Okay? Tom Aspinall. Nobody thinks about Tom Aspinall over here on this side of the pond. I mean, Tom Aspinall doesn't even connect. Tom Aspinall is nothing. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to fight Jon Jones. But unfortunately, Jon Jones, seeing the MMA guru have Tom Aspinall on the show, it ain't happening. Dana White's trying to make it happen. It ain't happening. Yeah.
That immediately is like a huge red flag in my head. I like.
Yep. I mean, this is the only thing that Joe's right on. Scoot back a little bit.
Type stuff. So I think it's going to be a very good year for the UFC. I really do. And again, and I want to make it clear.
Let's
From the
segue
start,
off
they
that,
nailed
by the way,
it. They
John.
nail it in production. Yep.
Let's segue off that and just say, I want to get, I think people care about that fight. Dana White said on Saturday, 100% that fight will happen.
That fight will not happen. I'll tell you what. Tom Aspinall went on the Guru show. Jon Jones ain't having none of it.
So let's assume that that fight happens. How do we see that fight going? John, go ahead. I'll start with you. Go back to Joey, and then I'll give my take.
Ooh, that to me is one of the two.
I can't wait to hear Kevin Iow's take on this. I'm just itching in the pants just to wait for Kevin Iow's comment on the Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones.
Biggest fights you can make in the UFC right now, and I love how great Tom Aspinall is at poking the bear a little bit and doing it in a way where it's like, I'm not talking trash, I'm just being respectful. Sounds like you're scared of me, that's all I'm saying. I don't know that way. I love the fight. The speed and athleticism that Tom Aspinall brings to the table, man, that's going to be, he's not a plodding heavyweight out there, right? You know what I mean? Extremely quick, extremely great grappling stuff. That's everything happens in slow motion for that guy, man. The fight, it's incredible the way he sees things, the way he slow things down a little bit. So, it's hard for me to pick against the GOAT. I think he is the greatest of all time. It's hard for me to pick against Jon Jones, but this to me would be the stiffest I've seen his face in several years. Father time catches up to everybody. This man seems to be the next generation. This would be a stern challenge. It would not shock me to see Tom Aspinall walk out of that room with his hand in the air. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't gonna happen because he went on the Guru show. Okay? Jon Jones, no pun intended, but Jon Jones is butthurt because Tom Aspinall went on the Jon Jones show. And this fight ain't happening, people. I know.
I'm saying, but right now,
Dana's wishing that it would happen.
I just can't pick against Jon Jones. That's why I love it. When I'm torn on a fight, even internally, that's when I get excited, and that one tears me internally.
Oh, it's great when John Morgan gets excited. It's like, wow, I mean, the whole world gets excited. I mean, nobody cares about you three guys.
Joey? So, when I talk
This ought to be good. This guy's a big idiot. MMA Joey.
about Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, which I'm hoping, I'm praying to the MMA gods that it comes to fruition. First off, Dana saying, I 100% guarantee it happens. That immediately is like a huge red flag in my head.
He's right on that, bro. Because it ain't gonna happen. Dana White wants it to happen. Jon Jones is just tickling it. He doesn't want it. Because Tom Aspinall is buddies with the MMA Guru. I mean, it's not gonna happen, people. I'm just trying to tell you. Listen to me.
Like, I know it sounds funny, but I'm being dead serious. Immediately red flag in my head. Somehow it's not going to happen, and that clip is going to be a meme in the MMA community for the rest of the year. But if it does happen, people think I'm hyperbolic when I talk about.
Hyper what? Hyperbolic? Oh, this guy's so smart. He's using these big words.
About this fight, because obviously it's been the talk of, you know, the entirety of November, essentially. I have no doubt in my mind that Jon Jones wins that fight.
I think you're a big idiot. Of course, Tom Aspinall's going to win that fight. Jon Jones is an old man. I mean, you've seen it. That senior citizen fight in the Stipe Miocic, that was a senior citizen fight. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't go into wheelchairs. They wheeled the wheelchairs right into the cage. I mean, come on. Tom Aspinall wiped this guy clean. I mean, they show it. I mean, you don't have a brain in the neck, Joey? Huh?
I think that Aspinall has a puncher's chance. He's super fast. He has heavy hands. He can knock out Jon Jones. Jon Jones has taken such limited damage throughout his career. Jon Jones' grappling, I think, is better than anyone in the UFC.
That's stupid.
Arguably. And I just think that unless Tom catches him early, I think Jon Jones can dominate that fight.
You're an idiot, MMA Joey. You're an idiot.
And I think you look at, and you guys can, you know, agree or disagree to this.
I disagree with you. Tom Aspinall will win, but Tom Aspinall's not going to win because he's friends with the MMA Guru.
Jon Jones, throughout his career, he always fights to the perceived level of his opponents. You know, when it's like, oh, this guy has no business being in there with Jones, and there's no way Jones loses, it seems like...
Well, Jon Jones does have a loss on his record.
Jones doesn't really show up and fight to his fullest potential. But every single time, this is the guy, Jon Jones goes out there
12-6.
and performs. And I think with Tom Aspinall, everyone's saying, this is the guy. I think Jones is going to go out there and beat him. And I said that, you know, there was similar talk going into the Cyril Gane fight. I said the same thing. A lot of people called me crazy for saying,
No, you're crazy, all right. As a matter of fact, you're stupid, too. I mean, you don't have a brain. You got a brain like me. The crow and the crow. I mean, you know.
No, I think Jones wins this fight rather easily. I don't really bet often. I'm not a gambler. I bet on Jon Jones to beat Cyril Gane in the first 2 minutes. Now, that wasn't...
Yeah, that worked out for you.
My actual pick. You lost! But I lost by 5 seconds. I lost by like 5 seconds. I couldn't believe it. But that's how...
Yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, that's in the UFC museum, the Hall of Fame, about MMA Joey. You know, picking up fighting, just losing about 5 seconds.
confident I was of Jones going to that Cyril Gane fight. Now, with that being said...
Now, with that being said, I mean, why do people copy other people? Okay? I don't know.
You know, I say this all the time. You have to appreciate these guys in a special moment in time. And Father Time, like John said, catches up to everyone. And you never know. They can go from the best in the world to being brutally KO'd and on the downslope of their career.
Yeah, like Kevin O'Reilly, I mean, Father Time has caught up to him.
At a snap of a finger, at a drop of a hat. That could
all that stuff.
happen. That could be Jon Jones' moment against Tom Aspinall.
Jon Jones would not beat Tom Aspinall. But Tom Aspinall would not beat Jon Jones either because he's not going to fight him. You know why? Because Jon Jones will not fight Tom Aspinall. Ever. When you become friends with the MMA Guru, That's what happens. When you're, what's his name, Tom Hospital, when you're Tom Hospital, and you are trying to get a fight with Jon Jones, and basically right before the call-outs come, you become friends with the MMA guru. Have you seen the videos that the MMA guru does on Jon Jones? Okay.
I just don't see it happening. I see Jones, if he does want the fight, I see it happening first half of 2025. I don't think he's going to try to delay it and get older. And I think if he doesn't get KO'd in the first round, his fight IQ, his better overall skills, I think he gets it done against Tom Aspinall.
That fight's not going to happen because Tom Aspinall is a dummy.
So, I am higher on Aspinall than almost anybody because I have him ranked 5th pound for pound on my list. And
Tom Aspinall stinks. He ain't fought nobody. He is nobody. I mean, he's like one of those crybabies, those Great Britain crybabies over there, always crying about something. I mean, if you live in the UK, you must just cry all the time. Everything is like a big complaint. You know why you guys are getting passed over? Because all you UK, Great Britain fighters, you all stink.
And I think that's justified by the
It's justified by I said, side effect, 1 foot clock.
quick finishes he's had and the wins that he's had. But I also would favor Jon Jones in the fight. Now, I think the reason that
You guys are idiots. Jon Jones is never going to be able to beat Tom Aspinall.
the fight is an incredible fight is, you know, Jones has got the great wrestling and the great grappling. Jones, an interview, I am always scared shitless because if that doorbell rings or if a FedEx truck goes down the street, this dog just goes apeshit crazy and goes running downstairs and barking his head off. So Pantoja came on and we were kind of talking before we start. So I introduced him and said, hey everybody, I'm with Alexander Pantoja, Alexandre Pantoja.
Alexandre Pantoja.
How's it smoking on that one? I would look.
I think since I brought that fight up, it's time to wrap this up because we get
Yeah, it's time to wrap this
John
up.
Morgan, MMA Joey, I appreciate you guys. Everybody who made your comments and especially those put some super chats in there, we appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much. And guys, I owe you a lot. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us, bro.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. So anyways, that was our interview with MMA Joey and Kevin Ione and John Morgan and Simon Fleck. Kobe Covington. With his eyelid hanging down. His eyelid is ripped off. With his eyelid on the ground. Skibidi. Only one man lives. Now it's Buckley. Rocky Buckley. Rocky Buckley. Rocky Buckley. Rocky Buckley. Rocky. And Rocky walks out. Snakes. 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 With the eyelid hanging down. Dripping blood. He needs his eyelid. He never got his eyelid. Snakes. Please retire. Yeah, and retires. Sign on the dotted line. And retire. He's just a big idiot. Hulk Hogan was embarrassed. And only Hulk Hogan came out. Hulk Hogan was embarrassed. Snakes. Hulk Hogan was pissed. Wake up, brother. How come you lost, brother? Hey. How come you lost, brother? Let me find out what the 42-inch python's here. Brother, why do you lose, brother? With his eyelid hanging down. Kobe Covington stinks. Only Rocky Buckley comes out. Now stare down. I come to kill the rooster. Hulk Hogan was mad. His boy lost. Got dominated by Rocky Buckley. Rocky Buckley destroyed Kobe Covington. They think your eyelid was cut off, Kobe. You would have got knocked out. You would have been sleeping, baby. You need to retire. Stop your gambling career. Spend the $25,000. Only win you like $1,000. table stunk. UFC table was stinky. It stunk up. The whole thing with all still stinks. UFC cleaned the table. It stunk the place up. It still stinks. UFC table stunk. UFC table was terrible. Best thing about it was Hulk Hogan. Stay out of table. UFC table was
Really had that.
I know it's terrible,
Can't
man.
argue with the
Yeah.
Okay, what is the smell that you like that most people are grossed out by? Okay.
Cow manure, when the wind is blowing. It's like stagnant and it's just sitting there. But when you have a little bit of that manure smell with the fresh air coming in, it's just like, okay, this.
Yeah, it's just, it's just like, it's just like this,
If you have a legal question and are in the neighborhood, stop on by. At Farah and Farah, we're always here to help in any way we can. Farah and Farah, here to make it easy.
Struggling to keep customers happy?
your heart. So hot getting wasted. Cause there's nothing like your love giving me
driving down this old